Welcome to a Sunday afternoon in the Three Rivers city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gorgeous look overhead of PNC Park, and in the foreground, the Allegheny River. The Pirates won last night 4-3 despite a ninth-inning rally by the Rockies. It featured a two-run home run from Nick Hundley. They won 5-3 Friday, so the Rockies trying to avoid the three-game sweep here against the surging Pirates, who are 17-5 over their last 22 ball games. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off today for the Rockies. 287 batting average, 15 home runs atop the Rockies lineup. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Jose Reyes being given the afternoon off. DJ LeMahieu slides back to a familiar spot. He'll bat second at 310. Then Cargo, Arenado, and Paulson in the middle. Kyle Parker gets the start in left field. Daniel Descalso is at shortstop, and he'll bat seventh. When he starts, the Rockies generally win. Descalso has played well off the bench. Justin Garneau will get the start behind the plate, and batting ninth will be Jorge De La Rosa. 31-year-old Charlie Morton, a native of Reading, Connecticut, is on the hill. Got a late start to this season, coming off of hip surgery late last year, but he's been pretty solid.
He has at home 5-1 with a 2.82 ERA, so his numbers are better there than they are out of the road. His last start Tuesday down in Miami, he didn't have a feel for his sinker or his curveball. And for Charlie, he really gets in trouble in 2 innings. He just bears out by his ERA, so watch this in the first inning to see. And some pitchers don't have the feel for the sinker or the curveball coming out of the bullpen. So that's why the first inning, you get after him, score some runs, and also the 7th inning, if he stays around that long, is another inning that really has given him fits. But he has won 4 of the last 5 starts that he's gone out there, and the Pirates have also won 4 out of his last 5.
And as you mentioned, he's been very good at home with that 5-1 mark. Big dude, 6'5", 235 pounds. Originally, Charlie Morton was a 3rd-round pick at a high school of the Atlanta Braves, a team that Charlie Blackmon followed growing up. So we're set for a little afternoon baseball. Rockies looking to get a quick jump finally on the Pirates. They've played uphill the last couple of ball games, and really more often than not, unfortunately, this year the Rockies have had to overcome an early deficit. First pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike at 92, and that 2-seamer, that's pretty much where he'll sit. And Charlie pops this up. Aramis Ramirez sees it, foul ground. He's got it, 1 out. Take a look at the Pirates defensively. Starling Marte, who came in late yesterday, will be in left field again. McCutchen naturally is in center. Gregory Polanco, one of the big stars of this series, will be in right field. Ramirez, Jordy Mercer at short. Josh Harrison will play second. Michael Moore's getting the start at first base. We've seen him as a pinch hitter a couple times. In all 3 ball games, it's been Francisco Cervelli,
the Iron Man.
Yeah,
Iron Man behind the plate, and then Michael Morris at first base. You know, Charlie Morton's a ground ball pitcher. They're looking for some good defense out there. And you have the left-hander on the hill with Jorge, so it makes sense to put him out there instead of Pedro Alvarez.
DJ LeMahieu backs up. Clint Hurdle in his 5th year now as the skipper of the Pirates. 88 wins last year, 96 wins the year before. Breaking ball misses. 2 balls and a strike. Well, the Pirates induce a number of ground balls. They're major league ranked. Ground ball to fly ball ratio #1. Ground balls overall. So you better have good defenders in the infield.
And for Charlie Morton, that's the type of guy he is. And I was watching him while they were doing the field today. And in front of home plate, like they'll do for numerous guys that have a ground ball, they soaked it like a mud bog.
Josh Harrison moves to his right, 2 outs.
Trying to slow down those ground balls. Really watered down the infield once about 10:30, and again heavily at 12:30. And this is the area that I'm talking about, right in there. I mean, if you had a tractor pull, you'd have a tough time getting the truck through there.
Yep. Arizona used to really loosen up that dirt in front of home plate, especially back in the day when they had Brandon Webb. He hit it in there. It was like a mosh pit. 2 outs. Here's Cargo. Rockies were held to 9 hits last night, which doesn't sound all that bad. That's inside. But 3 of them came in the 9th inning. The 2-run home run by Hundley, and then Barnes had a base hit. So the Rockies, with nobody out, all of a sudden had the tying run aboard. Unfortunately, they had a line out and then a line out double play behind it. 2-0 on Cargo. He has good memories of facing Morton. He took his curveball deep.
And why not? He knew it. That was right after the All-Star break when Cargo was hitting a couple of home runs, and most of them were off the curveball.
Cargo 5 for 15 lifetime against Morton. It's 3-0. He takes a strike. 3-1. Ten home runs in the month of August for Carlos. Now it's a 3-2 count. I wonder if Morton will go to that curveball.
It's been almost unhittable at home. At home, he's a 105 batting average against on the curveball.
He went fastball, called strike 3 by Jeff Nelson. Cargo thought that was up. 1-2-3 start for Charlie Morton. First inning. Gregory Polanco is going to be first against Jorge De La Rosa for the Pirates. Polanco hitting .343 in the month of August. Take a look at the rest of Clint's lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Starling Marte will bat second, and McCutchen at 3:05 will bat third. Ramirez hit the big 3-run home run last night in the first inning against Chris Russin. Francisco Cervelli in an RBI spot. Michael Morse got a lot of pop. Josh Harrison will bat 7th. Jordy Mercer after him. And then the light hitting Charlie Morton. For De La Rosa looking for his 8th win. He hasn't had many decisions in the second half. Just 7-6 with a .461. Went 7 innings, gave up 5 runs in Atlanta earlier on the trip.
Yeah, he gave up a couple home runs in that game. One against Johnny Gomes, the other one against Adonis Garcia. Was seeking his first win since August 1st at St. Louis. So he's winless in his last 4, but he's 0-2 with the .360 ERA. But in those 4 games, he's got a total run support of 5. So he's been doing his job. It's the offense that needs to help him out today. Score him some runs.
Exactly. He's loved to break out offensively. It's been a while, particularly out on the road. So here we go. De La Rosa against Polanco. He'll swing at the first pitch quite a bit. Not this time. He takes a strike.
He did last night. First pitch of the game.
The splitter is the prominent pitch featured by De La Rosa.
And he has been throwing the curveball more. We've seen it on this road trip in Atlanta. We've seen it as much as he's thrown it in one game down there.
The Rockies with 2 strikes shift. Arenado becomes the shortstop. Descalso goes to the right side. They were more conventional until they got to 2 strikes, and the sweeper misses. 1-2 on Gregory Polanco. A reminder, you can join in on the conversation by sending us your thoughts and photos. Utilize Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Also use the hashtag ToyotaTalk and you get the job done. Polanco in the minor leagues hit .285. Stole a bunch of bases in the minor leagues. Did he go? Yes, he did. They check it out at third, and Corey Blazer says he went around. So Polanco's gone, and a strikeout for De La Rosa.
Good start for Jorge. He was looking for something else, obviously, because he didn't think that he would get that fastball away from him. At the knees on the corner. Well received from Dustin Garneau.
And that'll bring up Starling Marte. Came in the ball game to pinch run last night and then play defense. He takes ball 1. On the ground, 2 hops to a retreating Arenado, and a throw across to Paulson, 2 gone. And let's take a look at the Rockies, how they align defensively. Kyle Parker once again is in left field. Charlie Blackmon at center. Cargo is in right. Arenado with Descalso next to him. DJ LeMahieu, Ben Paulson. Dustin Garneau getting the start behind the plate. Kyle Parker running around a big left field here in Pittsburgh. It's kind of similar to Coors Field, Jeff. There's a lot of room out there in left.
Because it drops back at 410 by the Rockies bullpen. So you have that to deal with. You've got some other things where it hooks down to the line. It's a hot, humid day. That's probably the worst day. I shouldn't say worst, but the weather-wise, the hottest and most humid we've had on this road trip by far.
Period. No question about it. It is far more humid than we've seen it in either Atlanta or Pittsburgh. Surprisingly so. The weather, as we've been bragging about, has been just gorgeous on this trip. McCutchen with yet another base hit. Been watching him. He's really good.
Yeah, so I've heard. Been good in this series.
Been good in a lot of series for a number of years now.
When he put the shift on, he hits it over the head of everybody in the infield. And all his hits have come within the same general area. Right back up the middle like this one. He's had a couple into the pole hole at shortstop. Now for Andrew, he came into the game in 305. It'll go up.
Rockies put the shift on with Ramirez at the plate. And that pitch, a fastball, misses at 91.
And he just stood there. He had no intent. It's almost like he stepped out of the batter's box. He didn't, but he just took his left foot and backed up. He was just going to let Jorge throw a pitch down the middle if he could.
He's had success against Jorge, an average above 300 with a home run in his career matchups. A very good professional middle of the order hitter. Never won in Pittsburgh.
prototypical corner infielder. Guy that, I mean, from the old school scouting.
Yeah.
Where he can hit home runs but play good defense. He's going to be a 3, 4, 5 hitter in your lineup. That's the way it used to be diagrammed.
Yep. 1 and 2.
Well, the Rockies have that with Nolan.
Yes,
I mean,
they do.
Put him at third, hit him third or fourth.
For a long time. 2 and 2. You got to figure the splitter may show up.
And if he could throw the split where he turns it over more than cuts it, that would be better.
Jorge wants fastball away.
And that was Jorge shaking to it. Hey, the rooftop is a place to be during baseball season. Arrive early for pregame festivities and beer specials before first pitch.
First time Garneau has caught De La Rosa. He, according to Walt, sure handled him a little bit in spring training. This is a split. Another big crowd here at PNC Park, more than 37,000 last night. Boats were lined up early. In fact, lined up early. They've been here for the weekend.
They just parked it.
They parked. I ran by this morning. They were getting ready to eat breakfast on most of those boats. This is in the air to shallow right. Cargo coming quickly. Can he get there? No. Foul ball.
Oh, good morning, Carter. Good afternoon. First inning, you got to run about 150 feet to try to catch a foul ball. Better make sure your legs are loose.
Sunday always seems to reset your clock in baseball, whether you're a player or coach or even a broadcaster. Sometimes you lose track of what day of the week it is. And it's Sunday like,
rolls
okay.
out. Okay, no batting practice. There's chapel. There's all these things going on. That must be Sunday. Getaway day.
That's right. Rockies return home for a busy week. They'll play 8 games in 7 days. Play a doubleheader Tuesday against Arizona. Giants also coming in. 2 and 2. And that's inside. 3 and 2. De La Rosa does not give in. It's one of the reasons that he has a lot of deep pitch counts.
A lot of reasons why 6 innings is a lot of times as deep as he'll go into a game, because he'll get ahead 0-2, 1-2, and then it's 2-2, 3-2, maybe a foul ball.
And the fastball's hitting the air to left. Parker will get there, and that ends the inning. McCutcheon had a base hit. He's left aboard. We'll go to the second. No score in Pittsburgh at PNC Park.
for many. And of course, at PNC Park with a big crowd, it's a Sunday fun day. And guess what it's been this season? It's been a Sunday fun day for the Rockies at the Dish. Now, I know Carlos Gonzalez struck out to end the first inning, but take a look at the all-copy fun fact when you're talking about home runs on Sundays. Nolan Arenado about to lead off. He's tied atop that leaderboard with 9, and Cargo's got 8. So, Drew and Jeff, you were talking about resetting on Sunday. That's why it's Sunday fun day when you look at those numbers.
Yep. Bottom line is you got to win, though, right?
You do, yeah.
Got to win.
Homers are nice, but.
Yep. And hopefully Nolan has a big day. This is chopped right to Josh Harrison playing up the middle. 1 pitch, 1 out for the ground ball specialist, Charlie Morton. Ben Paulson will come to the plate. Rockies on Sunday this year, one of their better days overall. They're 9-9. The only other day that they're at 500 or above are Thursdays. They're 6-5. Remember, for a few years, Sunday was the worst day for the Rockies.
Was not a fun day.
No, Sunday was not a fun day. Oh, and 1 on Paulson. That's called a strike on the inside corner from Jeff Nelson, the crew chief.
Charlie Morton starts on the first base side, so he can work the ball into left-handers, but to right-handers, it's a harder angle for them to pick up. They're used to seeing that right-hander from the right side of the rubber, but when he starts on the left side, and Spilly and I were talking about this a week ago, he said the ball comes in and it's really a weird angle, one that you're not used to.
And this is fisted to first. Horse with a nice toss, 2 outs. That'll bring up Kyle Parker, who wants tacos. When the Rockies score 7 in a game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Parker has struggled on the trip. He's not alone. 0 for 10. He does have a walk. First time he is facing Charlie Morton. Morton twice in the last couple of years has had hip surgery, labrum issues. He signed for another year. Second year of a 3-year, $21 million deal. And these are easy innings so far for Morton. 2 quick innings. He's got 4 ground ball outs. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. By clean, crisp Coors Light. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Great way to enjoy a weekend in Pittsburgh. Kayak out on the Allegheny. No scores. We go to the bottom of the second with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Mark Stat is with us as well. Francisco Cervelli will lead things off here in the second inning for the Pirates. Pirates 22-5 their last 27 home games. Again, the only team with a better home record, and it's only by a half a game this year in baseball, is the team that the Pirates are pursuing, and that's the St. Louis Cardinals. They're 46-19. The Bucks are 46-20.
That's why St. Louis is #1 in win percentage in baseball. The Pirates are #3. Kansas City is #2. I mean, you're going to run through streaks like that. You're going to play well at home. You're going to pile up the wins.
Well, the Rockies, in the seasons where they have performed well, they have dominated, as you know, at home. This year they have not dominated at home, and I think for virtually every team that has to be the case. If you're going to put together a 90+ win team, and 90 wins is for me the demarcation point where you say, hey, that's a really good team. You win 90 in a span of 162. You enter kind of the elite level that year in baseball, and especially, maybe more so than any team in baseball, the Rockies have to be dominant at home. They have to have the kind of year that the Cardinals are having, that the Pirates are having at home, because we know historically they're going to struggle somewhat out on the road.
I said that Pittsburgh's on pace for 99 wins this year. They're only 4 games above 500 on the road. So that tells you the 33-29 at home, as we see the strikeout from Jorge, but they are out on the road, but they dominate at home. When the Rockies in 07, 09, 2010, they were winning 50+ games at home.
Yep, and that's going to have to be a must. There's only been one season where the Rockies have finished above 500 on the road, and that was 2009 when they went 41-40. Michael Morse will step up. 230 average, 4 home runs, and 16 driven in, or excuse me, a dozen driven in. Morse's single and a walk off the bench as a pinch hitter in the first 2 ball games.
I like to get me over curveball from Jorge.
That's how he uses the curveball, especially out on the road. You don't see him use it much with 2 strikes on occasion.
Hitters are not going up looking for a first pitch curveball. They're looking first pitch fastball. So if you could just roll it up there, you'll get the swings or the takes.
Descalso circles nicely to his forehand and gets the out on Morse. 2 gone. It'll bring up Josh Harrison. With every challenge call, the Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru. Speaking of love, the U.S. Open getting going tomorrow in Flushing Meadows. We missed that by a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, last year we were there. Not this time, just back in the middle of August when we were middle of this month, I guess.
Yeah.
Today's the 30th.
I'll be watching.
31st.
Yeah, I'll be watching closely. Serena going for the Grand Slam. Wouldn't that be something? Josh Harrison. 2 outs, nobody on. Did you ever play any tennis?
Played a little bit growing up. It's fun. I still enjoy going out.
Great sport. And Harrison's out front. It's 1-1.
Looked at the vertical break and the horizontal break on that pitch to Harrison. Vertical was 7, horizontal was 8 inches. That's how much it broke coming to the plate. That's what makes the splitter or the curveball so hard to hit. The old line is, how do you hit them? Well, you don't. You hit the fastball. But if you do have to hit those, you have to anticipate where the ball is going. That's what your swing is. It's not, I see the ball and I'm going to swing it there. I anticipate where it's going to go in that 60 feet.
Josh Harrison grew up in neighboring Ohio. An All-American at the University of Cincinnati. That's what Huey's referencing, that dasher board on the side, which gives additional information than you would ordinarily see in a ballpark. Everybody's used to seeing the miles per hour, but it's neat what they're doing there. Good pitch by De La Rosa, strikes out Harrison. So De La's on his game. He has struck out 3 in 2 innings. We'll go to the third, no score. The hashtag RM Data Strong Fan, and we'll get you in an upcoming game broadcast. Rockies will have their shortstop leading off in the 3rd inning, Daniel Descalso. How about this? When Descalso starts for the season, today is his 31st start of the year. The Rockies in those games are 20-10. It's been the good luck charm.
And I think about some of the starts that he has received. It's been off the tough right-handed pitchers. Just like any utility guy that hits left-handed, you always draw those Sunday day games, the Thursday travel games. And you got to face the Syndergaards, the DeGroms, the Greinke's. Speaking from experience, obviously.
Yeah, that's sometimes the role of the super utility guy.
I see that
1 ball and 1 strike.
I just saw that last pitch inside. It was way inside to Daniel, but the Pirates, they're not afraid to pitch in.
It's been one of their reasons for success the last couple of years. And that pitch was in again. You get a jam shot to second, easy play. And Charlie Morton, probably the king of the staff when it comes to throwing the ball on the inside portion of the plate.
5 ground ball outs for Charlie. 4 of them have been to second base. You know, when you throw inside like the Pirates do, it's something they talked about when Clint came over here. We need to do that more. Now they've also increased the number of batters that they've hit. They've had some retaliation. Think last year when Andrew McCutchen was hit, and they turned around, whether it was intentional or not. They broke the hand of Paul Goldschmidt. Put him out for the last 6 weeks, but you're going to pitch inside, you're going to hit some guys, and in turn your batters are going to get hit. But that's what they do. That's their motto now. I'm going to own that inner third.
Well, pitching is the art of throwing off the timing of a hitter and also making the hitter feel a little uncomfortable.
So he's not looking away. Where do hitters like? They like to be able to extend their arms. We say it almost on a nightly basis. So how do you do that? Well, if the pitch is away from you, where I can dive, where I can lean out over the plate. But if they stand me up, now I've got to think about that, and it makes the breaking pitches like that curveball even more effective.
Dustin Garneau is gone. 2 outs, and that'll bring up De La Rosa.
You come inside, and then you throw the knee buckler.
That's a great hook. I mean, that is a big league curveball.
It ranges from 78 to 80 miles an hour.
You hear the seams hissing on that thing.
Yeah, when you're standing in the box, you hear that rotation of the baseball. I mean, sometimes you don't pick it up, but you can hear it as it goes by.
And that's in there. It's quickly a 2-strike count on De La Rosa. Morton's thrown only 29 pitches. 30 pitches, and that's butchered by Ramirez, and he did not get De La Rosa. So it'll be an E5, allowing De La Rosa to reach. Otherwise, it would have been 30 pitches through 3 innings for Morton. First base runner for the Rockies.
95th air as a team for Pittsburgh. 5th for Ramirez in a Pittsburgh uniform. He just got caught all kinds of in between on that hop. He was going to sit back, then decided I got to go get it, and then it clanks off the heel of his glove. Talked about how wet the infield is. He slips as he goes to grab it. Give credit to Jorge to hustle down the line. Just didn't give up. Just didn't say, "Hey, I'm not gonna run hard. They're gonna make the play." He beat it out.
Charlie Blackmon at the plate. And Charlie hits this in the air to shallow center field. McCutchen calls off everybody, and he makes the catch. So it's 31 pitches through 3 innings. Morton pounding the strike zone. Be Jordy Mercer, Charlie Morton, and Gregory Polanco to face De La Rosa in the 3rd inning.
Flashback to his last start against Pittsburgh, also here at PNC Park on July 18th. No decision, 6 strong innings, 2 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 4 hits in that game for Jorge.
Again, he's never won here at PNC Park. And it's not as if he's pitched poorly here. He just hasn't had enough run support to get a victory.
Well, you can tell when he's pitched 8 games, he's had 6 starts here, but he's 0-2. So there's a lot of no decisions, not getting the run support. But that was always comforting for me when I knew I was going into a ballpark that, you know, I could see the ball well, and I just felt comfortable when I stood in the box. Same thing for the pitcher. He feels comfortable out on the hill.
Mercer, the shortstop, will lead off for the Pirates. Well, your final big league hit came in your final big league game, just a couple hundred feet from here at Three Rivers Stadium, which no longer exists.
Yeah, I closed it down in 2000 with my last hit, and that was also the place I got my first big league hit, off of Doug Drabeck.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, so when I'm coming to this city, into this state, I have very fond memories.
I bet you do. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a splitter grip. And it is a good splitter called strike. Usually Jorge induces swings and misses, or swings and miss-hit balls with that splitter. 1 and 2 on Mercer.
Fastball.
Like a cutter grip.
It'll get off to the side on the cutter. It won't be a 4-seam. It won't come up over the top. It'll get more on the seam on the side. Almost like a slider. That's how he grips it, but he just throws it like a fastball. Well, when he goes in there and presets that split, it's easy to just go from there if he wants it, if not to change it to a fastball or curveball.
And there's a breaking ball, and it's hit up the middle by Mercer. Second hit for the Pirates. First time they've had the leadoff man on. McCutcheon had a 2-out single in the first.
Individual game day suites and party facilities are still available for the regular season. Call 303 Rockies to check availability today. It's a sweet deal.
Bunting situation for Charlie Morton.
Five sacrifice bunts this year for Charlie.
Wants that foul in the air. Out of play. How about Edwin Encarnacion? He hit 3 home runs and drove in 9 yesterday. He hit a home run early today for Toronto. He's got a 25-game hitting streak. I watched a good portion of that Blue Jay game yesterday. They are like the 27 Yankees. They just keep assaulting the baseball. That's a good bunt, and Arenado has a chance for the force out at second base. Great throw by Nolan, diving out of the way. And Nolan actually went to the ground. Jorge had to get out of the way. Good job cutting down that lead runner.
Nolan's charging hard on this ball. He comes in, and see how he's set up? See, he's set up already for the throw towards second base. I always tell infielders, set up for the harder throw first, and then you can adjust over to first base. So Nolan sets up for the hard throw, which is the one to second base. He makes a strong, accurate throw. If the catcher then calls first, you just reposition your feet, make the toss to first base. So always think about setting up for the hardest throw first.
Good advice. Morton at first. Gregory Polanco will come up.
Now you have the pitcher running the bases. That's a nice trade-off.
Yeah.
But to get back to Encarnacion for a moment, I like what the Toronto fans did then. They threw their hats out onto the field like a hat trick, like they would do it for hockey.
Yeah, they did the hockey thing after he hit his third yesterday. Yeah, since that trade, it's interesting because with Tulowitzki going into today, they're 23-5. However, Troy, I don't know if you've been following this, Troy's played terrific defense. He has struggled, though, with the bat after the big opening game where he hit a home run, had 3 hits in all. Troy hitting the 220s, and he has struck out close to a third of the time.
And they moved him out of the leadoff role today, moved him down to 5th.
Yeah. He's hit 4 home runs, driven in 11 with Toronto, also 4 doubles. But if you see Toronto's up 6-0, he has scuffled with the bat. You figure, with his pedigree, he's going to figure it out. That's in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Once again, when it gets to 2 strikes with Polanco, the data shows that he's going to pull the ball on the ground if he does hit it on the ground or strike out. And so the Rockies put the shift on. Now they can come back after that strikeout, the 4th for De La Rosa. De La's got good command today of all of his pitches, it looks like.
All 4 have been swinging and off-balance swings from Pittsburgh.
A lot of pitchers will say this, especially if they're from a warm weather climate. Obviously, Jorge's from Mexico, and they like pitching when it's humid, and they can get a good sweat going very early, grip the baseball.
That might be the key, the gripping of the baseball. It doesn't feel like a cue ball in your hand.
No. Pitchers battle that at Coors Field because of the lack of humidity, particularly in the shoulder months of the season early on, and if we get some cold weather in September. Marte takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Starling.
Well, you try different things at Coors Field. Lick your fingers constantly to get that grip. Use some rosin.
As you use some other things.
Well, I wasn't going to go there. You can hide the pine tar ability.
Lets you in on a trade secret. It's very hard for umpires to detect pine tar, and most managers are loath to go and call a pitcher out because their pitcher may be doing the same thing. It may be on a position player. Position player may, they throw it around the infield and they can, give you the baseball back, or the catcher. So. And I don't know if I'm going to ask you this as a hitter. Did it bother you because you'd rather have that pitcher have a decent grip as opposed to the ball slips out of his hand and sails in your head?
Yeah, unless it was so nasty that when he threw it that he struck you out because it did something that you weren't expecting the baseball to do. But I agree, as long as it's not. If it's just helping him grip the ball better so it's not sailing out of his hand and he has better command of the pitch, I don't mind it. I'd rather have that than one in my head when I'm standing in the box.
I think most people would agree with you. 1-2 on Marte, 2 outs. Charlie Morton at first. We're scoreless at the bottom of the 3rd. And a little comebacker, and Jorge flips over to Ben Paulson. So another strong inning for De La Rosa, and we'll go to the 4th. Rockies looking for their first hit. good looks too. Ford Go Further by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. There's the tramway, the incline railway across the river. It's actually right where the Monongahela meets the Allegheny to form the Ohio. That's where that incline railway is. I've always wanted to take that. No, have you done it?
No.
Next year
Next year we'll go.
All right.
We'll go over there. I know. I've already planned ahead. We'll do our open from over there. Here's what we can do. We can run up it and then take the tram down.
See, I'll do that. You know I'll do that, and you won't anymore.
I told you. I've just played for the tie now. I don't need to get ahead.
DJ's going to lead it off out of that 2 spot in the lineup. Ground ball to second his first time. The Rockies have not hit a ball sharply yet against Charlie Morton. He has a couple of strikeouts and a slew of ground balls. Man to reach De La Rosa on an error by Aramis Ramirez. It's adjustment time. See how the Rockies adjust to seeing Morton the second time through. Infield straight up, outfield a shade towards right naturally because that's where LeMahieu goes so frequently. First hit of the ball game for the Rockies, and DJ's on for Cargo.
And that's how you make the adjustment. See what a pitcher does the first time. Know he's going to come inside. So anticipate that. Go up with a different game plan. Go ahead and cheat on a pitch.
Cargo got ahead 3-0 his first time up, and then Morton a called strike, and then a foul ball 3-2, and then he froze him on a fastball at the top of the strike zone. DJ got a late lead, and he was actually heading out when that throw came over from Morton. And DJ wants to groom the area in which he's going to take that lead a little bit. Laz Diaz, first base umpire there. This crew will head on to Washington, or excuse me, to Baltimore tonight. Baltimore and Tampa the next few days. And Cargo hits it through the vacant right side. They had the semi shift on, but Harrison couldn't get to it. So Cargo with a knock, and now the Rockies have 2 on and nobody out with Arenado coming up.
And with the shift, Harrison playing on a very heavy pull side. Goes back to you're playing percentages. You know, if he's playing straight up, that's a double play ground ball, but he's not. He's in the hole. I know he's mad, slamming the dirt. She also had a guy hitting the ball that hit it extremely hard.
Yep. Now, if you're Nolan, are you?
I'm thinking, you know what? I've seen him
up.
Well, I've seen him do that, but I've also seen him try to drop a bunt down. He's just one for his last, I think, 16. Had a single last night, broken 0 for 14 snap streak. I've seen him do it before.
Takes inside, ball 1. It's still in play after that first pitch misses. Ramirez, that's the last thing he's thinking will occur here. He's about 4 strides behind the bag, and he should be.
And I only say that is because we've seen him do it 2 or 3 times this year.
This ball driven to right field, and this one's going to take a couple hops and roll to the corner. LeMahieu will score. Cargo to third. He'll stop there. A run-scoring double for Nolan Arenado. 3 straight hits in the 4th against Charlie Morton, and the Rockies lead it 1-0.
And 2 of the hits have come by hitting the ball to the right side for right-handed hitters.
Well, he got a pitch up, didn't he?
Yes, he did. That one had some sink at the end. You're right. At first glance, it looked like it was up, but the way he leaned over to get to that pitch and hit it so hard, 93 RBIs. That's good for second behind Paul Goldschmidt, who has 96.
And now, because it was a double, second and third, the infield's back. Paulson gets it in play. You ought to score a second run automatically. And this is lined toward the gap in right center. It's going to score two. Ben Paulson is going to produce extra bases here. He's got the gallop going, heading towards third. Triple for Paulson, and the Rockies lead it 3-0. How about this here in the fourth? The Rockies couldn't touch Charlie Morton. They've gone single, single, double, triple, and it's 3-0.
Fourth triple for Ben Paulson. He stayed back on the curveball and chased it into the right center field corner. Last night we were saying Ben's just a performer. He goes out there and he performs each and every night. He does something where you look in and you say, this guy gets it.
Well, he grew up around the game with his dad being a coach, now the head coach at Winthrop, and he has a slow heartbeat. We're around him a lot. I mean, he has a very even-keeled demeanor, which I think is absolutely necessary in this game. You played for more than 10 years. It's hard to live if you're on a roller coaster ride in baseball.
You can't do it. It'll wear you out by the All-Star break. You better figure out how to stay on that even keel. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And Ben does that.
Nice to see Kyle Parker come through here, infield in, and he has a quality swing there. Fouls it off. Kyle with Paulson at third, nobody out. Chance for the Rockies really to put up a crooked number here in the fourth. Ground ball to second. Harrison's going to hold the runner, and that's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Descalso. When the Rockies win, you win. Get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com.
We've seen the outfield arms by Pittsburgh on display in this series. So Daniel, you have the infield in, and that's good because you get a lot more room, but you better get it deep if you're going to get it in the air. In left field, Starling Marte has 12 outfield assists. That leads the National League. Andrew McCutchen in center field has 7, and Polanco, we saw it Friday night, he has 9, which is second in the National League.
There's a about to get Descalso an RBI single, and the 6'3" shortstop Jordy Mercer leaped and robbed him of a base hit.
Well, that's all you can do if you're Daniel. You hit it hard. At times you don't have control over where it goes. This is one of those times. He lines it hard. Jordy Mercer climbs the ladder to rob him of a base hit and an RBI. 6'3" and some hops.
2 outs and the 8-hole hitter up. They're going to walk Garneau. First base unoccupied, and try to get the final out with De La Rosa. Rockies enjoying their first lead of the series. So Garneau goes down to first and third. Paulson still situated at third. De La Rosa looking for his 4th RBI. Today, USAA honors all of our service members at home and abroad. And we thank you as much as humanly possible for all of your service. De La Rosa takes a strike. He doesn't have a pretty average, 0.75, but De La Rosa competes at the plate.
That's all you can ask for your pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, but every once in a while you'll see a pitcher, you can tell he has absolutely no interest in being there.
Doesn't want to.
Doesn't want to be there.
guess that they're going to come inside, De La.
Yeah, cheat. Start right now.
And you're throwing the curveball.
Yeah, that's not right. Good inning for the Rockies. Single, double, triple. 2-run triple from Ben Paulson. And the Rockies have a 3-0 lead.
Clemente Museum here in downtown Pittsburgh. After the game and after the postgame today, Rockies Weekly will come to you from the Roberto Clemente Museum. It's 3-0 Rockies. We go bottom 4, and Andrew McCutchen's going to lead off. He wears number 22. Of course, Clemente, the retired 21 here in Pittsburgh. I thought that we would compare Clemente through 1,000 games with Andrew McCutchen through 1,000 games. This is game number 1,006 for Andrew McCutchen. Clemente played his on July 14th of 1962. Numbers are kind of similar. Power favors McCutchen. You have to keep in mind Forbes Field was 442 to center and much further down the lines than here at PNC Park. And Drew and Jeff, I was talking to some of the ushers here. Paul was up here and he said, you know what? I want to keep an eye on that Polanco guy in 4 or 5 years and compare him to Roberto Clemente, because he plays that kind of fluid game that Roberto did, but nothing like number 21.
You know, I know that we all tend to be reluctant to compare current players to all-time greats. I'm glad you threw those numbers up there, because guess what? There's great talent in every era, and I think we're looking at an era right now, and this is just through better nutrition, better understanding of how to take care of the body, how to make the body stronger. The players are better today than they've ever been. And the numbers of Andrew McCutchen, who's leading off here in the 4th inning, suggest he has Hall of Fame talent, because honestly, as great as Clemente was, McCutchen's numbers are better in a lot of areas at the same place in their career.
And I always look at how does that guy stack up to the players he was playing against during his era. And for Andrew McCutchen, he's in the top 5.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is one of the guys.
And this is going to be a tough play. Descalso gets rid of it in a hurry. Nice pick by Paulson. And Las Diaz says the ball came out when he was retrieving it to throw it around the infield. So McCutchen's out. Descalso, such a shrewd player. He knew he had to get rid of it in a hurry.
And they finally get McCutchen on a ball hit in the hole. Nolan cuts in front of Descalso, and that always distracts an infielder, but you're taught as a third baseman, get everything you can. And Daniel also slips when he gets trying to get rid of this ball. But Ben helps him out with the pick at first. In the glove, he's out. Control.
Nice job by Paulson. That's another thing. We talk about him being a performer, and that's what a scout told us about Paulson yesterday, and I loved the term. He's been a performer on defense also. He's very solid at first base. He can go out and play one of the corner outfield spots. I think maybe at Coors Field, you don't know if you have a steady diet of it, because you really, I've said this many times, you need 3 center fielders.
You need speed
in Coors Field. But you know, if he's at a Wrigley, or you know, occasionally, it's a way to get his bat in the lineup. But his best position clearly is his natural position, and that's first.
We saw him make that running catch over his shoulder down the right field line last night.
Yep,
had to run a long way for that ball.
Yep, showed a lot of athletic ability on that. Ramirez fouls it off. 2 balls and a strike. 3-0 Colorado, bottom of 4 with 1 out. That's such a big play by Descalso. Pirates have so much confidence, and you get McCutchen on leading off an inning after they gave up 3. Just gives a different complexion perhaps to the inning. Three and 1. Good spot.
And the Arizona Diamondbacks come to Coors Field August 31st through September 2nd. That's this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with the special day-night doubleheader on Tuesday, September 1st. Purchase your tickets today.
This is popped up. Blackman coming, Cargo coming, and it's Cargo. So casual. You know, we're watching, we're really high up here. We've told you before, there's 2 stadiums that the broadcast booths are at the top of the stadium, here at Nationals Park. Beautiful stadiums, but not the best place to be able to call a ball game. So we're watching closely the outfielders, excuse me, the fielders, and how they react. Well, the last guy I thought who was going to make the play was the guy who made it, because he was the most casual of the 3.
I was watching Charlie with the ball and where he was going to be. Yeah, we're way at the top of the stadium, and the ball was actually below us. Even as high as it was hit, it was still below us. And then I got a little flip to DJ.
Effortless.
Some guys just make it. I mean, make it look so easy when it's not. Robbie Alomar, my teammate in Baltimore, made things look so easy. I'm like, Robbie, it's not that easy, is it? Oh, yeah, for me it is.
Yeah, for him it was. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cervelli. Cargo's that way. Having this conversation about Cargo around the batting cage yesterday, watching him hit balls into the Allegheny one after another, hit a ball over the batter's eye. And when the best players in the world are looking at you and saying, and not me, but looking at Cargo and saying, how does he do it? It's ridiculous. They're in awe of him, and guess what? Everybody else is in awe of you, because you're in this league.
And then they started egging him on yesterday.
Yeah.
And then he started putting on a show. It became a home run derby during batting practice.
And the ringleader was Reyes.
Yeah.
He was calling him Cargon. One side on Cervelli. 3 and 1. Cervelli struck out swinging his first time. 4 strikeouts for De La Rosa. Rockies trying to slow the juggernaut that is the Pittsburgh Pirates. They've won 4 straight. They've absolutely obliterated everybody in the NL West this year. 21-4 against the National League West.
They've had 4 sweeps against the National League West.
They lead the league in sweeps with 13, and that's a good pitch. All the way back comes De La Rosa's 5th strikeout, a 1-2-3 4th. So number 29 is on his game. 3-0 Colorado. They'll have the top of the order in the 5th inning against Charlie Morton. It's time for our CenturyLink link to what's next. Here's the upcoming schedule over the next few weeks. Rockies return home immediately following the conclusion of the game today. They'll take on the Diamondbacks 4 times. Doubleheader on Tuesday. We will not televise the afternoon game Tuesday. We'll pick up in the evening. And then the Giants come to town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it's a 10-game road trip. 4 in San Diego, because there's also a game on the 10th we haven't put on there. It's a makeup game from that rainout in San Diego. 3 in Seattle, and then 3 in Los Angeles before finally an off day on the 17th. That is the Rockies' next off day, the 17th.
21 games in 20 days. And yes, that does have to be approved by the Players Association. The rule is you can't play more than 20 straight without a day off.
Blackman with a 1-0 count. Curveball misses. Morton was almost perfect through the first 3. He would have been if not for an Aramis Ramirez error. And then last inning, the Rockies got after him. Left a run at 3rd. That's the only disappointing portion of that 4th inning. They had Paulson standing at 3rd after the 2-run triple with nobody out. Parker hit a ground ball to the drawn-in infield to second baseman Josh Harrison. Descalso smoked the ball, but it was caught by a leaping Jordy Mercer at short. They elected to walk Dustin Garneau, and then De La Rosa struck out. Trying to extract everything out of an inning, being greedy. You would have loved to have had that 4th run.
Hate to leave runs out on the field.
Especially 87% of the time, a runner at 3rd with nobody out is going to score. Vince Scully, and it's great that Vin's coming back for his 67th year. I don't think Vin, back in the 50s when he began, worried about the percentages like everybody's aware of now. That's a base hit for Blackman. I think Vin broke that out in 1955. 87% of the time.
No.
But that was wonderful news when that came down, that Vin was coming back next year. Got a real treat yesterday that when caught on MLB Network. It was last night, actually. The Dodger game was on and Vin was doing his thing. Still an absolute joy to listen to. Well, Justin
Pleasure to be around.
Going to play 9 innings for the Rockcats today.
That's good news for Justin. DH yesterday. Played some first on Friday night.
Base hit for Blackman. LeMahieu had a single to start that 4th inning rally. Carr goes on deck. Running situation for Charlie. 34 stolen bases. Not going. And it's 1-1. Got a great hit and run combination here.
And you have a catcher and Cervelli's thrown out
only 16%.
So that helps you. And if you do start the runner and go hit and run, you can open up another hole in the infield.
Pitch out thinking, as we were, that something may be on. Now it's 2-1.
Managers hate to call back-to-back pitch outs.
See it every once in a while.
You better have the guts of a cat burglar if you're going to do that.
Our supreme strike thrower too on the mound, that you're not worried about putting him in a deficit count-wise. Not Blackman not going, and it's fouled off 2-2. It's another, just a little subtle thing for the catcher. Huey, as you know, with his propensity to throw the ball in the inside portion of the plate, a little bit more difficult for a catcher to make that transition to throw the ball to second.
Yeah, with the right-handed hitter, because you're trying to catch it, come back across to make the transfer, get out of the way of the hitter.
And it's a strikeout of LeMahieu, 1 out. 4th strikeout. Cargo with the base hit last inning. He would come around to score on the Paulson triple. Cargo, the player of the month in July in the National League. Hasn't hit for as high an average as he did in July. Not close, but at 250 range right now. But he's hit 10 home runs in the month of August. And that ball is ripped, but right at Harrison. There's 1, there's 2. Middle of 5, the Rockies lead at 3-0. First bank, the Rockies up 3-0. Nolan Arenado an RBI double in the 4th. Paulson followed it up with a 2-run triple, and De La Rosa has allowed just 2 hits, hasn't walked anybody, has struck out 5. He's been as sharp as we have seen him. In the 5th inning, it'll be Michael Morse, Josh Harrison, and Jordy Mercer against De La Rosa. For the most part, he's kept the pitch count down also.
5 ground ball outs for Jorge.
You got Morse to ground to second, excuse me, short his first time up. And swing it again. Looked like a slider. It may have been a splitter. Very, very difficult to determine with De La Rosa.
And if you can't tell looking on TV and looking at signs, how do the hitters feel? They're trying to figure out the same thing.
Quickly 2 strikes on Michael Morse. he got him to chase that splitter in the dirt. And Michael Morse has got 6 strikeouts for De La Rosa.
When you get ahead in the count, batting averages are well chronicled. Where they go down. Just like that pitch went down from Jorge. Looked inviting out of the hand and then fell about 11 or 12 inches down.
And a swinging strike from Josh Harrison, who punched out in the second. Harrison went from recognition in Western PA last year to national recognition when he made the All-Star team. 2 years in a row playing in the postseason. That will help your Q rating also. This ball is grabbed by Paulson. Nice pitch by De La Rosa, jamming Josh Harrison. 2 outs.
I want to pick up his thumbs as he's going back to pick up his bat. That's how much he got into his kitchen. Take a behind-the-scene tour of Coors Field. Group and individual tickets available year-round. Call 303 Rockies.
Pitch just missed on Mercer. He had a base hit his first time up. Jordy out of Oklahoma State. That through the vacant right side. Rockies had to shift on. So Mercer with a single. And that'll bring up Charlie Morton.
Well, he's looking over his shoulder to see if he's going to hit, because Joe Bland's warming up in the bullpen with 2 outs. I'm going to go ahead and send him up there.
Charlie's one of those guys. It's not just this year. He's hitting 037. He's never really been much of a hitter.
He's 075 for his career.
It's about 075 from being halfway respectful.
18 for 239.
Ball to Nolan, and that'll end the inning. Base hit by Mercer. He's left aboard. We'll go to the 6th inning. De La Rosa in complete control. 3-0 Colorado. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Tavern Downtown. Visit Tavern Downtown after Rockies home games and get 2-for-1 draft beers with your same-day ticket. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Jack in the Box, for a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. Now that's having fun at the barbecue.
That's how you grill.
Making me hungry. Well, what would be a Pittsburgh baseball game without Pirates, right? Nolan Arenado in the 6th inning. Ben Paulson, Kyle Parker against Charlie Morton. Nolan an RBI double in the 4th inning, in which the Rockies scored all their runs. And for Nolan, he now has 93 driven in. 7 shy of that magic number that no Rockies hit since 2011 when Tulowitzki cleared the 100 RBI mark.
Snapped out of a little funk for Nolan.
And probably happened last night when he drove that ball off the left field wall for a monstrous single. That ball's pulled foul.
Yeah, that helped. Definitely helps the psyche when you're leaving the ballpark. For an individual who had gone over, and Nolan hits that double, comes up in an RBI situation, comes through yet again. No matter how confident you are in yourself, the accolades, the all-star games. Games still will find you and humble you at times.
Does
And it
not
will
matter
beat up
who
on
you
your
are.
it'll beat up on your confidence.
This is bounced up the middle. Harrison has a difficult throw, and he gets it across in time to Morse to get Nolan. Good play by the versatile Josh Harrison. There's one out. Ben Paulson will come up again.
Well, how far he ranged to his right. Catch this on the backhand, throw across his body from really a unique angle. Infielders are not used to throwing across their body going that way at the shortstop area. You know, in the hole, yeah, fine. As a third baseman, I get it. Second baseman over on the right side, but not where he caught that ball. It's not something you practice.
Paulson got a breaking ball, unloaded to right center field his last time up. He fouls that pitch off. Ben is 1 for 2. The 2-run triple. He's got 42 driven in now.
Curveball triple, 4th of the year into the gap. Drive in 2 more runs. Give Ben 42 RBIs on the season.
He's got 42 ribbies and 270 at bats. Gotta like that ratio. Pretty strong. Especially because, you know, he's hit different spots in the lineup. You know, today he's in a nice RBI spot, the 5th spot in the lineup. This ball is off the glove, of course. This will be another base hit. So with 1 out, Ben is at first for Kyle Parker.
That was the only hope for Pittsburgh to get Ben was if Morris came up with this. Because even though Josh is 30, 40 feet behind him, where he catches, if he catches that ball, it's going to become a foot race. He's going to have to hit Charlie Morton on the fly. Ben's going to beat it out.
Parker takes ball 1. Kyle's had a better contact rate in AAA this year than he has in the past in the minor leagues, and now he's trying to transfer that to the toughest league of all.
AAA, you might get 2 pitches in at bat, sometimes 3 pitches. The big leagues, could be just one. And if you don't square it up or make contact on that one, then you're really putting yourself in a hole.
One and two on Parker. That Morton fastball on the inside corner.
Not afraid to double up with it, but also not afraid to throw a curveball, start it out in the same spot, make it look like a fastball, and then it ends up on the outside corner.
Like that.
That's another example of the difference between pitching in the big leagues and pitching in AAA. Repeatable deliveries and repeatable sequence of pitches in not over the middle part of the plate.
Strike three on Kyle. Five strikeouts for Morton. That'll bring up Descalso. Ground ball to second and a line out to short. Inside edge of the plate, it's 0-1. A swinging strike two. 0-2 on Descalso. Ball's still at first, 2 outs. And this ball kicks away, so into scoring position goes Paulson on the wild pitch.
Cervelli's angry with himself, but did this come real close? No, I guess not. It looked like it was close to hitting the back foot of Daniel. It hit the chalk line.
Levels the count, 2-2. Three and two. Curveball misses.
You're going to put him on with the right-hander Dustin and the rookie next.
See if Dustin Garneau can burn him. A few times you'll ever see an intentional walk when there's already 2 strikes on the batter.
2 early strikes.
It's 0-2, yeah. Rockies 3 runs on 6 hits. Pirates have been limited to 3 hits by Jorge De La Rosa. Garneau a strikeout and an intentional walk. When Morton pitches, he prevents guys from diving.
Stands you up. Stu was just mentioning before that last, or excuse me, motioning before that last pitch to Ben Paulson to get a bigger lead, get off there. Still doing it now.
And this is dropped initially, and then a high toss. That's going to cost the Pirates a run. It may cost them two. Here comes Descalso. Throw to the plate. Not going to get Daniel. A terrible error by Charlie Morton on an underhand toss. Gives the Rockies 2 gift runs. It makes it 5-0.
Take them however you can give them.
Garneau ends up at second on a little flare right back at Charlie Morton.
Jumps, knocks it down, still has time to throw out Dustin. It's pretty hard to throw an underhand ball over the head of a guy that's 6'5", 6'6", and Michael Morse. I mean, he just airmails this down the right field line. Morse leaps as high as he can, but with the runners going with 2 outs, Paulson's going to score. Daniel's at second base when this ball heads over the head of Mike. It goes down the line, and he scores from first.
The whole thing for me that made it happen, it's why you always run hard. You can go hard 4 times, even if you're ticked off at how you hit the baseball. Garneau went hard to first base, and after he picked up the baseball, Morton realized he had to hustle. And because he rushed it a little bit, underhand, maybe not the way he should have done it, as you suggest, but you get the airmail. And now the Rockies have a significant lead.
What did Ramirez do? Because De La Rosa ran hard down the line in his at bat. He knocked it down, then with the Jorge running, he wasn't able to get him. I mean, even if you just ground out 4 times in a game, it's about, on average, it's going to average out about 17 seconds that you have to run hard.
I love how Sean Dunston always described it, because he had the reputation for always going hard. He said, you know, if I hit a comebacker, he said, I was so mad. He goes, one of the ways I got my frustration out was going hard. A couple of runs for the Rockies.
We were talking about legendary players that you would have liked to have seen play the game in person, and Drew just said Josh Gibson. Well, I did a little research, a couple of clicks of the mouse, and Josh Gibson actually started his baseball career here in Pittsburgh. A mile and a half or so from the team hotel, there's a plaque that talks about Josh Gibson near the Ammon Recreation Center. That's in the Hill District by Crawford Street, Bedford and Crawford here in Pittsburgh. And that brings us to our Coors Light cold hard facts about his career. You might have seen on that plaque, it says that they think he hit over 800 home runs playing in the Negro League and with teams here in Pittsburgh. Well, when you look at what Baseball Reference says, they have him as a .350 career hitter, and his home run total is only at 107. So that'll be our Coors Light cold hard facts. But Josh Gibson had a great career His father moved his family, guys, from the deep south in Georgia to Pittsburgh. He went to work for the Carnegie Steel Company. And then Josh was going to be an electrician. Well, they realized he could play third and catch. He started playing for the Gimbel's department store team. Next thing you know, he's on the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords, obviously located here in the Steel City. And the rest is history. The guy could just rake, and unfortunately died at the all too young age of 35 in January of 1947, less than 3 months before Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color barrier.
Yeah, Josh Gibson was credited, as you said, Mark, with 107 home runs. This ball's ripped, and Paulson's right there. Polanco, a hard line out, 1 out. Hardest ball hit against De La Rosa easily today, 1 out. Josh Gibson, 107 home runs in 1,825 at-bats that were, I guess, documented. So there were a whole bunch of home runs he hit that, you know, a lot of people saw, but evidently were not documented. So Barnes is now in left field for Parker. Here's Marte with 1 out.
We're going to Kansas City all those years, and Buck O'Neil would be behind the cage talking with him. What a
great
honor
ambassador.
that was.
Yeah, great ambassador for the game, and Buck had a long and rich life. The first World Series was here in Pittsburgh. It's best out of 9. 1-1. Marte fouls it off. 1-2. Times this year, Jeff, as we talked about, it would be Jorge De La Rosa's job to end a losing streak.
Most of the time he's come through. Today, Walt mentioned that, what he needed from Jorge and how he needed him to go out and do it.
Good job by Descalso. He had to wait. He wanted to come get that first hop, and he had to work with that in-between one, didn't he?
It's not one you would like to have. You would like to have a better hop. But if you charge too hard, you'll get an even worse hop. So Daniel started to come after it, realized I need to retreat, take a step back. But then the quick transition from the hands to the feet. He catches it and just replaces the feet. He doesn't take a stride to get any closer. He just moves his feet, so that helps him turn his shoulders.
Andrew McCutchen, a single in the first, and robbed of a hit by Descalso in the fourth in the hole. Strike 1 on McCutchen. It's 0-2 on McCutchen. Andrew has produced multi-hit games in 6 of his last 7, hitting .500 during that time frame. 7 of his last 9, in fact, .469 average. Pirates with the win last night. It became a 1-run game after the Hundley 2-run home run. 29-15 in 1-run games this year. That is the best in baseball.
659 win percentage.
And we throw that stat out a lot, but there are some people who believe that a truer way to evaluate a club is less about how they do in 1-run games and more how they do in blowout games. In other words, 4-run differential or more. What's their record in those types of games, 4 or 5-run differential games? Because there is, you know, some good fortune, I suppose, involved in those 1-run games. And we've seen a lot of good teams. There goes McCutchen. See a lot of good teams that, you know, have more of a pedestrian record in 1-run games, but at the end of the year, they're 90-plus win franchise. Rockies in complete control, 5-0. Glorious Sunday afternoon. Welcome back. High atop PNC Park with my partner Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. You know what? We're going to work together this week, but not necessarily in the booth. So I want to take a moment to congratulate you again, because this weekend, well-deserved acknowledgement of Jeff Houston's career at the University of Wyoming, going into the Wyo Hall of Fame. Big banquet on Friday. Induction ceremony Saturday as well during the football game.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's quite an honor. I'm touched that they would think that highly of me to put me in the Hall of Fame. But it is a special honor. When I found out about it, I don't get speechless too often, and that one kind of left me speechless.
You know what? We're thrilled for you. I'll speak for everybody with Root. It is exceptionally well deserved. You had a great career up there, and I love your story, and we've told it several times over the years on the air. Baseball is about perseverance. Life is about perseverance. And when you went off to college initially, you were going to go to the University of Arizona, just be a student.
Just hang out and be a normal student. My dad said, hey, why don't you give baseball a try? So I turned around, drove home, and handed him the check back to my dad. Said, yeah, I'm going to go try to walk on in junior college. And lo and behold, I ended up playing 15 years and over 10 years in the major leagues.
Yeah, it was awesome. 2 years at Glendale Community College, where you were a true walk-on. They didn't know who
they
you were.
Had no idea who I was.
You literally walked on and said, hey, I'd like to play some baseball.
I'm here with the glove, coach.
And you ended up being an All-American at Glendale your second year there, and then went on to the University of Wyoming, where you were one of the top players in the then Western Athletic Conference.
Yeah, thank you. I'm quite humbled by it.
You know what? It's great. It is just a great deal, and we're thrilled for you, and I know it's going to be a great weekend. Charlie Blackmon against Antonio Bastardo, the former Philadelphia Philly. First time we've seen him in this series.
Yeah, one of the two left-handers for Clint, and these are the situations he'll come into when they're down, because their up guy is Tony Watson, who pitched the first two nights.
2-1 on Blackmon. Rockies up 5-0. What a performance thus far for Jorge De La Rosa. And with the economy of pitches, he has a chance to hang around pretty late in this one.
Like to see it. Like to get him a chance to go 8, possibly 9 innings if he can. He has 7 strikeouts in the 6 innings. 7 ground ball outs, just a couple fly outs. And I'm looking at it. Really, hasn't been a high leverage inning where he's had to just pour out a whole lot of energy to get out of it. The 2 times that he allowed hits to Jordy Mercer, cleaned it up.
Blackman with a 2-2 count battling Bastardo. And Charlie hits this in the air to shallow center. And who's going to make the play? Nobody. A base hit for Blackman. And that's where, with these shifts, infielders, Jeff, explain this, they have different angles to baseballs than they're accustomed to throughout their career. And this goes back to when they were playing Little League and Babe Ruth League in high school and on up.
You get out of your comfort level, and Jordy Mercer is looking for help from the outfielders. He's running after this ball thinking, please somebody call me off because I don't have a beat on it. I'm trying to run from a position I'm not familiar with to an area that I'm not familiar with from where I had to take off.
I mean, Jordy's whole life's been a shortstop. He's not run in that direction in center field before. Here's LeMahieu with Blackman at first. Bastardo just holding the baseball. That's the first pitch strike on DJ. DJ has a base hit in 3 trips this afternoon, a single and a run scored in the 3-run fourth. DJ had the first hit of the game for the Rockies against Charlie Morton. Morton goes 6 innings, allows 5 runs, 3 earned. That's the reason the 2 unearned runs scored, though. He went underhand from about 45 feet away to Michael Morse and almost underhanded it out of the stadium. I exaggerate slightly, but
you get the point.
If
it was slow pitch softball, they might have called an illegal pitch for too much art.
Yeah, lofted it over the backstop. And as you said, it's kind of hard to loft it over 6'5" Michael Morse. He did.
I'm not sure Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could have gotten that ball.
No. So Morton, 6 innings, 5 runs, 3 earned, 7 hits. Both walks issued were intentional walks, 6 strikeouts. DJ strikes out, second time today, and that'll bring up Cargo. Cargo, a strikeout in the first inning, and then a base hit in the fourth, and he hit the ball even harder his last time up, but he hit it right at Josh Harrison. He turned it into a 4-6-3 double play. Career .291 hitter for Carlos Gonzalez.
Some bright batting gloves he's sporting today.
I like them.
Me too.
Be able to find them in a blizzard. Throw from Bastardo to first, almost handcuffed Michael Morse. There goes Charlie. Got a huge jump and easy steal to second. And that is stolen base number 35 for Blackman.
He's going to get 40.
Oh, easily.
He's going to get 40 now. That puts you in rarefied company.
It really does. It really does.
You know, first movement. Pitcher lifts his leg to go home. Charlie, and I give credit to Carlos Gonzalez. You know, it was a ball. But he also took that pitch because he knew the jump he got.
You know, there were some scouts, and scouting's such a tough profession. We've talked often about how you're projecting what a young man will be down the road. And oftentimes it's 4, 5, 6 years down the road, what they'll be, how much bigger, stronger, how much their skill level will improve. And in the case of Charlie Blackmon, as gifted an athlete as Charlie is, there are many in the industry that thought that Charlie would get to the big leagues, but as an extra outfielder, and that's the kind of career he would have, as maybe a 4th outfielder. Well, he's anything but a 4th outfielder.
Oh, he's an everyday outfielder.
And some question whether he could play center field.
I think he's answered all the questions that scouts have.
Well,
and it's hard. Scouting's, I did it. So I'm speaking from experience. It's hard to say, well, in 2 years, I think this guy will be that. And then if you miss, people are saying, oh, you didn't know what you're talking about. No, this is what I thought at the time when I watched it.
Sure. Strike 3 on the outside corner. He painted at 93. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Arenado. Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special, and the Rockies score 7 or more runs. That's from Taco Bell. Nolan an RBI double in the 4th, 1 for 3. Blackmon hitting around 290. With a little more than a month left of the season, he's going to have in the neighborhood of 20 home runs, 17 to 20. Be a good guess. He's got 15 right now. He's going to probably drive in 65, 70 runs, 40 plus stolen bases.
From your leadoff spot.
From your leadoff spot. That's quite a player. And he's backed it up. This isn't, a 1-year wonder. I mean, last year Charlie was an all-star. Back-to-back seasons, and he's improved in a number of areas. (2-0) on Arenado. This may be a pitch around with Paulson on deck, left on left, even though Ben's had a big day. First base open. Destardo's not going to give in to Arenado.
I just thought they would put him on now.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a fastball. Probably see a slider. Maybe if it is a fastball, it'll be off the plate. Now it's fastball down. And you'll get the glance in the dugout from Cervelli. See if he stands up. Nope.
No, he's not. Nolan.
Turn him loose.
Yeah, just sit on one pitch.
That evidently was not the pitch he was sitting on.
But that's okay. If you don't feel comfortable, or if you're indecisive on if they're going to throw you a strike, then just take.
Three and two. Yeah, the worst feeling in the world, I'd imagine, is that you got a 3-0 count and you fired a pitch and you hit, a miss-hit the leader to second. You're like,
man, why did I swing?
Three and two on Arenado with Blackmon at second.
Mitch and Charlie, seeing Charlie go back to second. Last year he played in 154 games, has 126 now. So he's going to be right at that mark come the 1st of October.
Yeah, he battled so many injuries early in his big league career. Charlie next year, first year he's arbitration eligible. Swung on and missed. Nolan Arenado strikes out. Destardo strikes out the side in the 7th. Rockies lead Blackmon at second. They're up 5-0. Today, USAA honors all of our service members at home and abroad. Stick around this Sunday for a rendition of God Bless America.
Resides in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. Has served in the United States Army 137 Infantry Brigade as an infantry mortar man from 2008 through 2011. During a full-year deployment to Hawija, Iraq, Noah suffered combat-related injuries, was honorably discharged, and is well on his way to a full recovery. We are proud to have him and his family here with us today. Now here to lead us with God Bless America is Luke Chestnut.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Hits. Ben Paulson has a two-run triple today among his two base hits. Jorge De La Rosa has been the story. You get good pitching and you have a great chance of winning a ball game, and he has 6 shutout innings and 7 strikeouts, no walks. Coming into this afternoon's contest, in the first 2 games, the Rockies pitchers had walked 9. The Pirates pitchers had walked only 4. We know how large an issue walks have been for the Rockies this year. They've walked more than anybody in baseball. Today, De La Rosa's allowed 3 hits, hasn't given any free passes out. And this is going to be a leadoff double, it looks like, for Ramirez. The other thing about the walks, the Rockies bullpen had allowed 4 walks in the first 2 games. And Pittsburgh's bullpen, nada. Had not walked the batter.
Well, it cost Scott Oberg Friday night. He had 2 walks. Both those walks came back to score in the 8th inning, and that's why the Rockies lost. Part of the reason why they lost. You just can't give the freebies. Make them earn it.
Cervelli at the plate. Scott Oberg, just mentioned, Scott's up. Nobody out in the 7th inning. Pitch count pretty solid for where De La Rosa is. 90 pitches to this juncture. He has struck out Cervelli twice. And that run, with a 5-run lead, that run becomes meaningless. You just want to get asked now if you're Jorge De La Rosa.
Now you're playing to the scoreboard. You're playing, I'll trade certain runners or runs for outs. That's what you, with that extra 2 runs that you got from the gift. Now you're just looking for those last 9 outs.
De La Rosa glared in at Jeff Nelson, who pulled his mask off and said the pitch was away, and he just signaled again to De La Rosa that he felt that pitch was outside. Ball 4, De La Rosa fired up. Not the end of the world if you get a ground ball here from Michael Morse. First walk allowed by De La Rosa. The young catcher Dustin Garneau, young from an experience standpoint, walks out and visits.
You got to try to calm him down. And Jorge is always, he pitches and lives on the edge. He'll get emotional. That's one thing you kind of like about him. But also you can't let it distract you from the way you've been pitching the first 6 innings.
Now here comes Waltz. And Waltz going to make a move right here. So with 2 on in the 7th inning, De La Rosa is going to give up the baseball, and De La Rosa still jawing at Jeff Nelson. Plus innings. Responsible for the 2 men on base, but just 4 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Trying to get the Rockies in the win column here against Pittsburgh before they head back home to Denver. So Jimmy John's delivery of the game provided by Jorge De La Rosa. And now Scott Oberg We look into that heavy sinker of his to induce a ground ball. Michael Morse coming up.
It'll be up to Scott to finish this half inning off for Jorge.
This is when De La Rosa.
He got thrown out.
He got thrown out as Walt was walking out.
See, to me, that's a quick trigger. I know he looked in and glared about where was that strike. He ripped off his mask and told him it was outside. But short of those two and the catcher, who else knew what was going on in the ballpark?
We see from 60 feet away, we see umpires, you know, and excuse me, pitchers, you know, getting after an umpire, and it usually takes more of a face-to-face confrontation. Morse has been called back. And it's Alvarado pinch hitting. Alvarez, I said Alvarado, excuse me. Pedro Alvarez. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pedro 4 for 14 as a pinch hitter. But if he hits it on the ground, he could double him up.
One and two. He doesn't catch up with the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And that's what makes Scott intriguing. The 95, 96 miles an hour on the fastball. Big overhand curveball. Controlling the strike zone.
And a strikeout of Alvarez. 1 out, and that'll bring up Josh Harrison.
They've owned Alvarez in this series, pitching him up. That's 4 strikeouts. He had the hat trick on Friday night and 1 today.
Ball 1 on Harrison. And that misses. 2-0.
Still have Neil Walker, the switch hitter, on their bench.
It's fouled off. On the ground, deep short, 1 play. Wow, you know, that's interesting. I thought it's a gimme going to third there for Descalso. You talk about that before the pitch, don't you, Huey?
Yes, you do. And that would have been choice C for me. Choice A would have been flipping it to third base to get the lead runner. Everything's in front of you. Choice B would have been to go to second base. But Daniel says, I'll go with choice C and make the throw across the diamond on the money. Right here, I thought he was just going to flip it to Nolan because he had the runner in front of him, who was Ramirez, who's very slow.
Which, and I don't want to beat up Daniel, but not only was it choice C, it was the most difficult play. And in a perfect world, you want to get the easiest play with a 5-0 lead, but you'd also be removing one runner from scoring position by flipping it 20 feet to Arenado, who was waiting for the throw.
So now you have an extra run. So you have 2 runners in scoring position instead of just the 1.
Yep.
And the force out still in play to any base, you know, third, second, or first, with guys on first and second.
Mercer hits this down the line, foul and out of play. And you talk about, Huey, you talk about this on the left side, don't you?
Yes, you do. You tell the third baseman, deep in the hole to my backhand. See, he's got the runner in front of him to where he could just easy toss. I mean, see how far away Ramirez is. But yeah, you'll tell a third baseman, you say, on my backhand, I might come to you.
The only time that would force Descalso or any shortstop to do something different if the third baseman came and tried to cut it off and there's nobody there any longer. Third, but Nolan immediately retreated to the bag, assuming he was going to get the throw. Unfortunately, it worked out in that the Rockies got the out at first on Harrison. 2 gone. Mercer with a 1-2 count.
Well, Scott making a moot point.
Got him.
Tag him.
And he got it completed at first, and Garneau throws down there. So a nice job by Oberg as he comes on for De La Rosa. Gets a strikeout of the pinch hitter Alvarez, gets Harrison and Mercer. So as we go to the 8th, it remains 5-0 Colorado. All the Mets fans were there, and you got the lone Rockies fan amidst all of that orange. It's our Data Strong fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Ben Paulson's going to lead it off, and at least for one hitter, Antonio Bastardo. Maybe he'll stick around for more. You have Parker and then Descalso. Excuse me, you have Barnes and then Descalso here in the 8th inning. Second inning of work for Bastardo. Pedro Alvarez takes over for the man he pinch hit for, Michael Morse.
I don't see anybody warming up in the Pirates bullpen. It looks like this might be a whole inning worth of work for Bastardo, unless you get after him.
Empty bullpen. So one of the most important things a manager does, and virtually every manager will tell you this, is how they manage a bullpen. Bastardo right now for Clint going to try to pick up a second inning. They have a day off tomorrow. If they were in a plus situation trying to close a game out, I don't think Melanson would be available. It's 3 straight ball games for Melanson. Tony Watson's worked quite a bit lately.
But when you're fighting for playoff position and jockeying for positions, the guys will find that extra in their tank. If it means, hey, Skip, I can give you just one batter to get one out, I'll do it. The Pirates have readjusted their pitching rotation. They're going to start Garrett Cole in the series opener Tuesday in Milwaukee, so he can finish up Sunday in St. Louis on a Sunday night game.
Yeah, and it's a 9-game road trip. Paulson draws a walk. 9-game road trip for the Pirates, and we discussed this yesterday. They will stay inside the NL Central for virtually the rest of the season.
26 of their final 33.
They do come to Colorado. So Paulson draws a leadoff walk. Third time Ben's been on this afternoon. It's the first walk issued by the Pirates. Excuse me, second walk, third walk. They had 2 intentional walks. First non-intentional walk. How about that?
There you go.
First at bat for Brandon Barnes.
LA is the other 3 games outside the division.
So remember, we were talking about sometimes a better measurement of the quality of a team is how they do in blowout victories. Did a little research. Games decided by 5 or more runs this year. And that, you know, if you win by 5, you would call it a blowout at the major league level,
yes.
Right? Here are the top 7 teams in blowout victories. Toronto, 30-6.
What are they? They're leaders.
They're leading the AL East. St. Louis Cardinals, 19-9. By percentage, they're number 2.
Best record in baseball.
Number 3, San Francisco Giants. Right now, looking up at the playoffs at 21. They're 21-10 in blowout victories, but you know, 3-time world champs in the last 5 years, and they're right there on the cusp of being in a position to play in the postseason.
9 games above 500.
Yeah. Number 4, Kansas City Royals, 20-10 in blowout games.
They have only a 14-game lead over Minnesota in that division.
Number 5, Houston, 17-9 in games decided by 5 or more runs.
Another division leader.
Number 6, the Pittsburgh Pirates at 15-9.
Third best record in all of baseball.
Number 7, the Los Angeles Dodgers, 17-11. Another team leading their division.
All those teams are either leading their division or in the wild card hunt or just a couple games back of a division leader. Point well taken.
Yep, 1 and 2 on Barnes. I'll give you the 1-run stats so you have them. And there are some good teams up there, but it's a little more arbitrary. And Barnes goes down, so Bastardo with his 4th strikeout, and that'll bring up Descalso. The Royals have the best record along with the Pirates in 1-run games. The Royals are 22-11. The Pirates are 29-15. The Cubs are next, and all 3 of those teams obviously having great years. Then the Angels, they're 23-15. Cardinals are next. You know the 6th best team in 1-run games? They're 23-17. The Atlanta Braves. How many games under 500 is Atlanta?
Atlanta is, oh, that's a lot of math. 21 games. 54-75.
What's Seattle?
Seattle is, they're 8 games under, 61-69.
They're 26-21 in 1-run games, 7th best in baseball. By the way, in games decided by 5 or more runs, I'm sure you're wondering where the Rockies are. They're 28th out of 30 teams in baseball. In 1-run games, the Rockies are 26th. They're 15-20. Here's something that seals my argument. counselor.
Okay, you're gonna slam your hand down on the table.
I'm gonna slam my gavel down after this one. The Oakland A's are 30th in one-run games, 15 and 30. Fine, Oakland struggling this year. 29th, or second from worst in one-run games this year, with a record of 13 and 24. The Toronto Blue Jays.
Because it's usually a softball score with them.
But look at their record.
Yes.
So blowout margins more meaningful than one-run margins. Two and 2 on Descalso. Rockies up 5-0. 5 runs, 7 hits. Paulson at first. And Bastardo strikes out Descalso. All 5 outs recorded by Bastardo via strikeout, and that'll bring up Dustin Garneau. Even the Giants, who we always talk about being great in those tight games because they play so many low-scoring games at AT&T, they're 16 and 18 this year. Bottom half of the league. Pop up to Harrison. That will end the top of the 8th inning. Paulson will walk left at first base. Rockies enjoying the 5-0 lead on a Sunday in Pittsburgh. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price, sales and service guaranteed. By Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Saratoga Casino, so new, so you. And by StubHub Rockies fans. Did you know the StubHub app's personalized just for you? Get the StubHub app today. Rockies leading 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 9-1-2 for the Pirates. And with the pinch hitter coming up, Oberg gets to warm up and then gets the baseball taken from him. You can do that when they announce a pinch hitter. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to take another commercial break. 5-0 Colorado.
coming to you from the Roberto Clemente Museum. The curator is Dwayne Reeder. He's an interesting guy. He originally went down to Puerto Rico, to Carolina, Puerto Rico, where Roberto's from, to shoot a calendar. He's a photography guy. And he got to meet Roberto's wife, Vera, and this is what he told me.
She gives me a hug the minute I meet her, and honest to God, it felt like I was hugging an angel. I just had this funny feeling that she was channeling like right up to Roberto. I mean, it was a really odd moment, you know, and I just like, wow, she was the nicest woman you could ever meet in your life. And then when I saw the condition of the things that were in their house, how just the environment there just is corroding the trophies, and literally she had the only known Clemente glove in existence, and when Hugo hit the island, the glove got wet and moldy and she threw it out. And so that's when I heard those stories and other stories, and I see things are kind of deteriorating. I thought maybe I could help her with the photos, and that's where I started.
And from there, he got the Clemente Museum going, and it's going strong here in Pittsburgh. So, guys, that'll be coming up after the postgame show on Rockies Weekly. I hope you will stick around.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that, Mark. And there's the statue of Roberto Clemente, which, even though he played right field, just logistically, it's outside the windows where you can get tickets in center field, right over the Roberto Clemente Bridge. That's fouled off by Neil Walker. He's behind 1-2 to Christian Friedrich, switch hitting second baseman. Leading off here in the 8th inning.
Well, and Clint sent the switch hitter up, knowing that there might be the chance they bring in Christian, but if you flip him over to the right side, hitting less there at 241 than he is from the right side. Then you got a left-hander falling up, and Polanco for Christian. So this is going to be his inning to at least get the first two guys and see what happens. Might turn it over then to a right-hander to face Marte.
One and two on Walker. And the fastball's fouled off. 93. A better fastball than we've seen from Christian of late.
Jairo Diaz. He's getting loose for the right-handers. Marte, McCutcheon. If it gets to the 9, it will be John Axford's.
Two and two. In the air to center field. Easy play out there for Blackman. One out. It was a big night down on the farm for the Rockies for a number of prospects. Let's check all the guys that the Rockies acquired in the Tulowitzki deal. Jeff Hoffman, 6 shutout innings. He allowed just 1 hit as he won for the first time in a New Britain uniform. When I say he won for the first time, he has pitched very well. He just hasn't had a decision yet. Jesus Tinoco has been off the charts. 7 innings yesterday. No runs on 4 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Miguel Castro, an inning and 2/3, ended up getting the victory last night. Trevor Story had a walk-off single. Trevor Story's hitting .273, 8 home runs, 35 RBI since moving from AA to AAA. He also has 20 doubles. He has an OPS of .809. One other note on Jesus Tinoco, in 6 starts for Asheville. He's 5-0. This is going to be gloved by Descalso. Good play. 2 outs. He is 5-0 with an .077 ERA. 7 walks in 35 innings. That's it. 29 strikeouts. So he has been sensational.
A couple sensational plays from Daniel Descalso today, getting the start for Reyes at shortstop. Seen him make plays in the hole. Comes in and gets the ball off the bat of Polanco. throws him out by a step.
2 outs and Starling Marte coming up. And Marte lifts this ball to right field. Cargo drops the baseball. We always talk about him being casual. And that time, the ball popped out of his glove.
A little too casual.
Maybe a 2-base error.
Trying to catch it down below his eyes. Didn't use 2 hands, and it hit, popped out. Now it's going to force Walt to go to the bullpen instead of going to the 9th inning. He wants to bring the right-hander in to face Andrew McCutchen.
Two outs when we come back. Marte at second. Obviously, you won't see again for who knows when, maybe never again. And now, with a runner at second base and 2 outs, Jairo Diaz will try to get out Andrew McCutchen to end the 8th inning.
3 2/3, 3 strikeouts. Well, Diaz has given up just 1 hit those 3 2/3.
McCutchen a single back in the first, robbed of a hit by Descalso in the 4th inning. He struck out swinging in the 6th. De La Rosa 6+. No runs, 4 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. It's 2-0 on McCutchen. On that little fastball.
That's nice to see. Last few times Diaz has come in, it's been 96, 97, nothing wrong with that, but to get up to 98.
Really, in today's game, out of the bullpen, there's very little substitute. You can have a I don't call him a trick guy, but a specialist here and there. But you got to have power guys. That's where the game has gone.
And that's where bullpens have gone.
That's where bullpens certainly have gone. 3-1 on McCutchen. Andrew hits his ball to deep left. Barnes tracking. He's got it. That'll close the bottom of the 8th inning. We move to the 9th with the Rockies ahead 5-0 at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That department. In the 9th inning, Matt McBride's going to pinch hit 9-1-2. Joe Blanton is on, the former Philadelphia Philly.
One of those guys that they picked up from Kansas City back on the 30th of July. Wasn't pitching bad in Kansas City. Clint was talking about Joe Blanton prior to this series starting. He pitched well when they faced the Pirates, and then when he was DFA, they picked him up immediately. Couple defensive changes behind him. Josh Harrison will move from second base to left field, and when Neil Walker came in to pinch hit, he'll also stay in the game and play second base. Matt McBride. A lot of changes going on in the last 2 innings. Matt McBride will pinch hit for Jairo Diaz.
Five nothing Colorado. Trying to snap a 7-game losing streak here in Pittsburgh. Five runs, 7 hits for the Rockies, and an error. No runs, just 4 hits, a couple of errors for the Pirates, and this is an easy play for Alvarez.
On the road traveling and want to watch your Rockies? Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Don't miss a game. MLB.TV.
Charlie Blackmon with 1 out. Charlie a couple hits today, 2 for 4. So stole his 35th base of the season. Blanton hits the outside corner. It's 0-1. Two-strike count. De La Rosa in line for his 8th victory of the year. swing.
A couple people text me, said, was he thrown out and then, or was he taken out and then he got thrown out? He was taken out of the ball game and then he got ejected.
Yeah, Walt was on his way out.
Yeah, he had already signaled to the bullpen.
That's back up the middle, hit sharply, but Mercer was playing right up the middle. And Blackman loses a base hit on the shift. 2 gone, and that'll bring up LeMahieu. DJ 1 for 4.
Second baseman, DJ LeMahieu.
Talking about the minor leagues last inning. It bears a mention Kyle Freeland, who had a couple of rough starts of late for Modesto. Went a career high 7 1/3 yesterday, allowed 2 runs on 8 hits, walked 2, struck out 4. 12 ground ball outs. Number 1 last year out of Evansville, University of Evansville. A TJ graduate.
Real prime with 3 hits, 3 for 3, a couple doubles.
That's low. 1-1. And this is on the ground to short. LeMahieu is out on the tag. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Glenn. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. John Axford will try to get the final 3 outs. Rockies up 5-zip. Looking for 3 more outs. People don't seem to be tremendously concerned that their team is down by 5 runs. They've been doing a lot of winning. Ramos Ramirez is going to lead things off. The Rockies will send John Axford to the mound to get those final 3 outs.
The first guy he will face is former teammate Ramos Ramirez, their days with Milwaukee. This isn't about saves, non-saves, getting him work, anything. They need this game. That's why John's in there. Hadn't worked in the first 2 games of this series. Picked up his 18th save on Wednesday night for the Rockies. See, Drew, that's what you need. You need one of those.
What is that thing?
I think it's a little more advanced than you or I.
I'm not qualified to ride that thing. You need a license for that. And I will not be pursuing a license to drive one of those things. It's like a Loch Ness Monster ride. Ramirez doubled in the 7th inning. 1 for 3. That 3-run home run yesterday. Didn't start on Friday. He ran a home run in the first against Chris Russell. Strike one from Axford at 98. John's had a loose arm. I'm telling you, the last 2-3 outings, he's been sitting on 98, touched 99 probably a half a dozen times. And a hard ground ball past Nick Leyva. Two strikes on Aramis Ramirez. Moved up the standings quite a bit when Milwaukee traded him to Pittsburgh, since he announced at the start of the year it would be his final year. Most games played without a World Series appearance. Among active players, Torrey Hunter, #1, Ichiro, #2, and then Aramis Ramirez.
Not a list you want to be on, obviously, but it tells you and it shows you how hard it is sometimes to get to the playoffs. Yeah, people want to say, well, we're jockeying in the Washington a few years back. Oh, we're going to shut down Steven Strasburg because we're going to be there every year. We're going to do it. It's hard.
It's really hard, and I like the line. This is right at Paulson. He caught it in the air, 1 out. I like the line. Listen, you got to have a good team. You know that, Huey. Yeah. You got to have a good team, but the line that states the playoffs find you.
That's the other way around.
Not necessarily the other way around. I'm going to miss this Cervelli walk-up song. Amore, it's amore.
Just put it on your playlist.
I could do that. It's just
something called iTunes.
I've heard of that. Cervelli walked in the 7th, a couple of strikeouts earlier in the ball game against De La Rosa. This is a ground ball to second. DJ retreated a step or two to get a clean hop. 2 outs. So, I mean, that looks like he's hitting the water pretty hard.
Yeah, that's.
Now, is he controlling? He's got to be controlling, right?
I would assume so, by the way he's anchored in. It's not like somebody has a. You know, it's not a video game.
I'm out.
I'm out too.
Pedro Alvarez, second at bat. His first one was a strikeout against Scott Oberg. And John misses there, 1-1.
Get this last out, finish the road trip 3-3, but make for a happy plane flight home.
Pirates probably wondering about the Cards. They're early on. They lead the Giants out west 3-2 in the middle of the 2nd. It's fouled off. Rockies taking on Arizona over the next 3 days. They'll play 4 games against the Diamondbacks. They're just underway against Oakland at home. No scores. They go to the 2nd. Swung on and missed. Ball game over. And the Rockies have shut out the Pirates 5-0 to end that 7-game losing streak here at PNC Park. And they do complete the road trip 3-3. Terrific start this afternoon from Jorge De La Rosa. He improves to 8-6 as he goes 6 innings, allows just 4 hits. He struck out 7, walked 1. Charlie Morton takes the loss. He is now 8-6. And Daniel Descalso, when he starts, the Rockies are 21-10. He played very good defense this afternoon for Colorado. Once again, the final score, the Rockies have defeated the Pirates 5-0 as we go west to our Root Sports studios Here's Jenny and Spilly.